Welcome to You Both Suck. This is a comedy podcast about conflict. I'm one of your hosts, Dara.
And I'm Kunal Arora.
And we are thrilled and ecstatic to be here.
You sound as such.
It's a problem when you're a dry, sarcastic person. I can never say I'm excited and people believe me.
I didn't know about people that are like very sarcastic and dry.
Yeah.
Like I took a friend of mine we were at like some event and it was like with dogs. Mm. And I was at one point, my girlfriend leaned over to me and she was like, "Is your friend having a good time?" And I was like, "I think so." She's like, "I don't know who she is."
Yeah.
It was like an event for dogs to run around.
And she was just like, was she not smiling or anything?
It was just like, she
deadpan?
was like so like deadpan about it. And I go, I don't. And at one point, me and her were walking together while my girlfriend was somewhere else.
Right.
And I was like, "Hey, are you okay?" And she was just like, "Oh no, I'm having a great time. This is just me."
Yeah, that's what I tell people all the time. Like when I used to go on, so for the people who don't know, I am a food blogger, but like I feel like I don't even do that much anymore. But when I started all this, it was like food was my primary thing. I wanted to be on Food Network one day. I wanted my own show. And I used to go on auditions and they would be like, "Okay, Dara, that was great, but just like more excitement and more enthusiasm." And I would be like, "This is my excited face. Like, I don't know what to tell you. This is just me."
That's crazy.
It's literally, I completely relate to your friend,
yeah.
and I too am having a wonderful time right now.
So how have you been? Tell me what's going on.
I'm great. I'm wearing my New Yorker shirt. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, all right. Yeah. You can't read a person's shirt if they're a woman.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
The placement makes it tricky. I understand.
It's like odd.
Yeah. Well, it was making me think because my shirt says the New Yorker as opposed to the New Yorker for those that can't see. And I was thinking about bodegas and bodega cats. And I was just like, I love a bodega cat. And somebody said that they're horrible and unsanitary. And we just got into a whole thing about it. And, It led me to thinking about more dirty New Yorker things that are going to lead us into our fuck, marry, kill for today.
Sure. I think a bodega cat is vital.
Thank you.
Thank you. It is part of the ecosystem of the bodega or deli.
Yes. And of New York.
Yes,
it's just such a New York thing, I feel like.
You know, the thing is, the clue to fix New York City's rat problem has been there the entire time.
It's such a good point, actually. Yeah.
The bodega cat keeps the mice away.
Exactly.
Keeps the rats away.
They have an actual job. Bodega cats should be employed at this point. They should get a salary.
Honest, there should be somebody who comes in and checks not just the status of the store.
Yes.
Not grades the store, but I want to see them get a grade for the cat. Is the cat in good shape? Is the cat's fur fine?
Yes.
Do they have a collar with a name ID on it? A phone number in case they've gone missing?
Exactly.
Stuff like that. I want to know. Okay, listen. You got a grade C?
Yeah.
Whatever. Questionable stuff. Fine. That's fine. This is New York City. This is what you get into.
Right.
But I need to know if the cat is okay.
Yes.
Is the cat good?
Is the cat in good health?
Yes.
And if it's not, I feel like the city should pay for them to be fixed by a vet if they're not.
No. Find the store.
Find the store.
Yeah.
That's true.
Split the cost.
No, but you know that people are not going to pay for their cats. I guarantee you a bodega owner is not going to. He would just get rid of the cat, I think.
He would just get...
Cats don't get as much love as dogs.
Then I think it should be mandatory to keep the cat there. Let's take it a step further.
Yeah. You have to have one in order to stay open.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's move into the fuck, marry, kill for today, which I'm pretty excited about.
Okay.
So it's like New York City street foods, fuck, marry, kill. Okay.
This is a big deal to me. Mm-hmm. One of my best friends growing up owned a hot dog stand.
Okay.
His dad was a hot dog stand owner. And we would party. What a sad state of affairs. We would party.
Yeah.
So we would hang out near the stand in Flushing.
Amazing.
And his dad would always give us free hot dogs. Mm-hmm. Well, I'd eat hot dogs. You'd probably sick of them.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's wild. You don't hear a lot of that. I don't think I've ever known anyone personally who owned one of those.
I mean,
he made a living off of that?
I mean, they moved back to Greece. I've never heard of immigrants going back, but this is the one time where I was like, oh.
I'm sorry, that's just so funny. Yeah. Also, doesn't he know he's Greek? He's supposed to open a diner.
I guess he wanted to start. He had to start somewhere.
That's true.
You know?
Okay, that's fair.
First of all,
hilarious.
before dancing Zorba can dance,
yes.
she must strut a little.
That's
she
fair.
must have a little,
The dirty water dog is literally the first on the list.
Yeah.
Then we have the New York pretzel. And then we have what my dad calls steak on a stick, but most people call it souvlaki.
The souvlaki. I used to call it the gyro, even though it wasn't the gyro.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, it is really...
The shish kebab.
Shish kebab,
is
you
what
could
it's
say.
Also,
yeah.
Or the kebab for short.
Yep.
Yes, they had the pork, the beef, the chicken.
We always got the beef, hence steak on a stick.
Right,
I mean, that's
and it's
the
cultural.
most literal.
It's very cultural, too, because
Yep.
my family would get the chicken.
Interesting.
We didn't eat beef growing up. I eat it now. Pork was like questionable.
Right.
But right now, the chicken was our jam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so if you want to kick it off.
Oh, my God. This is a lot of pressure to,
it's
to
a
fuck,
lot.
marry, kill.
I know.
Off the bat with these types of things. And I'm going to tell you right now, easily, this is an easy kill.
Okay.
Pretzel. Easy kill pretzel. Pretzel,
Yep.
it's flavorless. That thing hanging in the wind.
It's always dry.
It's always dry.
Yeah.
And I'm not expecting a pretzel to be extremely moist, but the pretzels that they have hanging there are no different than fly paper. They're just they're just fly spots for them to hang out on.
Yeah.
Kill that, burn it to the ground.
Yep.
No amount of mustard could save this.
No.
Okay?
I agree with that. Yep.
And I gotta say, fuck the shish kebab.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, she's meaty, she's juicy. You know me. Little bread on top. Little
Catches all that juice, the bread. Yep.
Yeah, you hold it upside down. Now and a good guy can get the good shish kebab when they have the stick sitting in the water.
Yes.
They dip it, and this way it doesn't get splintered. Because many a time I've eaten pieces of wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you still power through it. I mean,
You do.
It's whatever.
Okay. It's actually part of the measles, mumps, and rubella shot in New York City. You get one of those. But so I got to say, fuck the shish kebab.
All right.
And I got to say, marry the dirty dog.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But all right. I guess that's pretty fair. I was going to go kind of the opposite, but starting off with the killing the pretzel.
Yes.
Agree with you 1000%.
Right.
But I was a little bit on the fence with the dirty water dog and the shish kebab or the steak on a stick, because I feel like the dirty water dog, it's got that... It's a dirty water dog. It sounds kind of sexy. I was like, I'm gonna fuck the dirty water dog.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
She's a dirty girl. I don't know.
You're not the first person who's ever felt this way about the dirty water dog.
That's what I mean.
One time I was working at TaskRabbit, and this woman wanted me to bring a cup of hot dog water. To give to a guy that she'd hooked up with over the weekend.
Ew.
As like an inside joke.
Okay, but
It was like a flirtatious thing.
That's so gross, though.
I understand that.
Yeah, I'm having trouble wrapping my head around
Listen,
that, even as a joke.
I'm not even here to question these people's sick satisfactions. And listen, you're part of that same group of people.
I am, but not for the water.
I mean, you just mentioned the dirty water, and I think that it's part of it.
I guess that's
all right.
fair,
It's hot. It's sweaty. It's dirty water. So that's all it is. Sweat is dirty water.
Yeah, right. It is.
It is.
Yeah, and that was, I guess, the connection in my brain subconsciously that I was making.
Yes.
So it sort of makes sense, but
And
that's for me.
And so you land to end with.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna marry the steak on a stick shish kebab.
You were just like, you want the ritziness.
I do.
You do.
I
There's
do.
something about the ritziness that you desire. And it's just like, even though you want this ritziness, there's still such behind it is like real shameful.
Exactly.
Not your behavior, but steak on a stick is not steak. But you're like, this is the fanciest of the things. Well, I will take this.
So, you know what's funny is that when I was a kid, though, I definitely thought that it was. Because when you're a kid, what do you know? You know what I mean? And you think like, oh, my dad must know everything. And like, even though, again, my dad is not from here, that's why he called it steak on a stick, because I think he just couldn't say shish kebab probably. But, and so it's just like, I thought it was so fancy. It had the little bread that soaks up the meat juice. There's just, and it was just like so fun. I have very fond memories with the steak on a stick.
I haven't seen the bread top part in a while.
I haven't really looked in a while, if I'm being completely honest, because you could tell me that they've changed it completely. It's probably like veggie burgers now stacked up.
Hilarious.
For, like,
it's impossible meat pieces.
Impossible meat.
Oh, that's so sad.
For fuck's sake. Yeah, probably.
So you got the steak one. You got the steak.
Yeah, always steak.
The
It was
beef, right?
literally beef. I don't think I even knew they had chicken, if I'm being completely frank here. I did not know that. It was always steak.
Of your fuck, marry, kills, I do respect it because it is tied to also the upbringing.
Yes, I think it truly is. So, you know. I am very excited.
This is the thing. You got the submission, and then you immediately, get at me. You were like, in the best way.
Oh.
You were hyped. You were straight hyped. You're like, oh, you got to read this.
Hype is not even the word. I was like, I am the most excited.
Yeah, I know. I know. You were stoked. And I was like,
Yeah.
I read the first couple words, and I was on the phone with a friend.
Yep.
And I was like, I will read this later. This deserves silence around me.
Yep.
And then a time for just me to connect with this submission.
I was like, you need to be focused listening. That's what we call this.
I respect it.
Okay, should I read it? Do you want to read it?
No,
Should I-
please.
Okay.
You have a good reading voice.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I love that. I hate my voice, so that's wonderful to hear. Okay, so all right. The only thing that this person left out was their age, but I don't know. We got to remember people. ASL.
Yeah, gotta give us the ASL.
But okay, so it's a male, New York. We had a potluck situation at work recently, which is wild in a post-COVID world, but I guess I'm glad they're back, LOL. And one of my coworkers, who is kind of sorry, I'm laughing already, who is kind of an obnoxious windbag to begin with, always bragging about something, has been talking up his sauce for years. A marinara or red sauce, which is funny because he's not even Italian. Not that you have to be Italian to make red sauce, but it probably wouldn't hurt. Anyway, I've heard him talk about it in the past, and the ingredients sound absolutely appalling. He puts maple syrup in it and salad dressing, like a creamy Italian. I'm not done. And balsamic vinegar and a pinch of ground mustard. He says it's a small amount, but I've been so horrified by this that I Googled if it was normal. Most people add a little sugar for sweetness, but maple fucking syrup? I should mention this guy lived in Vermont for a while, so okay, we get it, Maple Mountain Boy, but guess what? It tasted so damn weird. I couldn't get the taste of balsamic vinegar out of my mouth for hours, and when he asked me if I liked it, I said, not gonna lie, I thought it was too many flavors going on at once. I couldn't really enjoy it. And that was the nicest I could possibly be about it. And he says, okay, whatever, Top Chef. Everyone else seems to be enjoying it. And walks away. So to prove my point, I went around and took a little poll in the office, and 6 people out of 10 said they agreed it left a weird taste in their mouths. So then I told him this in a nice way, but I told him that he's no Chef Boyardee. And he got so offended that I went to that length to prove him wrong and called me a dick. But I don't think I'm a dick for this. He should stop serving this to people. It's clearly not good, and people are just too nice to tell him. It's a waste of everyone's fucking time. I feel like I helped him. I know it was a harsh way to do it, but maybe but I think tough love in this situation is necessary. Also, Dara is a foodie. Like, way to drag me under. Also, right. Dara is a foodie, so I feel like she'll side with me on this, but I can take it if I went too far.
All right. First of all, when I read potluck came up early, and that's when I stopped reading. I said, I will give this the attention it deserves because I love me a potluck.
Oh, same.
Potluck drama.
It's amazing
Every
time.
Nothing better than potluck drama.
I agree.
Assessing. Now, this is the thing with a potluck. Mm-hmm. Either you come with it.
Yep.
And come with it.
Come strong or don't come at all.
But if you're going to limp in with some like ridiculousness, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
One time a buddy of mine brought in half a dozen Twix ice cream bars.
Okay.
And I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. Great. I think that's a great idea.
He just had them fully in the Rite Aid bag in which he had got them from. No presentation, no nothing.
Yep.
And it was a hit of the party.
Yeah, because it's something universal that everybody likes. They know what to expect. It's mass marketing. It's consistency.
Exactly.
Makes sense. I get it.
Right. And it's like, once again, you got to be like, come with confidence at the very least.
I mean, this guy came with confidence. Sounded like a little too much if you're asking me, because I got to say, okay. I have many opinions, but I do agree with the writer that those combinations sound absolutely horrible.
Let's just reflect on that. We got creamy Italian.
Creamy Italian.
Which I'm going to be honest, I like as a dressing.
I love creamy Italian as a dressing. You don't see it enough, but
you
okay.
don't. But maple syrup, man, and that is like already there. That's like, woof.
So wait, before you continue, fun fact.
Yeah.
I went out on a date with a guy a year or two ago from Vermont, also put maple syrup in his sauce. It made me wonder if this is like a thing. Not all that other shit, but he did do that. Okay.
I can understand the sweetener.
Same, but maple. It's more than just sugar. It's a maple.
Yeah, there's a different taste to it.
Different taste. Okay.
I don't know what that taste is, but I want to say bark.
It's tree.
It's tree.
What it is.
Yeah.
It's tree.
Do I have a hint of tree in this marinara?
That's so good. I want them to use that on Top Chef now. Anyway.
Balsamic vinegar.
Yeah, and I mean, again, that could lend itself to sweetness if you're like reducing it. It'll make it thicker, but then it's like a glaze, and I just don't see how that makes any sense in a red sauce.
And then pinch of mustard.
The ground mustard too, which I use that in like chili,
Yeah.
but that makes fucking sense in chili.
You know what this entire, like these 4 ingredients are, it's almost like, it's like a left, like right hook combos.
Yeah.
Like you're coming in boxing hard. You can see how little I know about boxing. But like, it's just like left hook, uppercut, like it's wild.
Wild fighting.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Craziness. As a, food blogger, foodie person, I can tell you just, I don't know. I feel like I usually have a pretty good sense of what something can taste like.
And you make a red sauce.
I do, and it's delightful if I do say so
And this
myself.
is the thing that kind of made me think about you.
Okay.
When you said, when the writer said, he's not even Italian.
Oh, yeah.
And it probably wouldn't hurt. And it's just like, hey,
Hey.
there are people out here making red sauces who are not Italian. All right, which makes me think you might be Italian, writer, because it's crushed tomatoes.
It's literally, you don't have to be. I make a really good. At least I believe it is, and other people have made it and tried it, and they love my red sauce. And it's canned. I do the canned tomatoes. I squish them by hand and everything. Fresh basil, ton of garlic. It's wonderful. I don't think you need to be Italian for that.
Yeah.
And I've also, most of my exes were Italian though, so maybe it's like Italian by association.
I want to say though, for those that aren't like that are listening, when Dara said that, her hands made the Italian thing, and I don't think she recognized it.
Definitely
it was
didn't.
Just sitting in her lap. She's like, "You don't need to be Italian," and I go, "Well, I guess I don't know
All right,
anymore."
fair enough. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it just comes out.
No, I get it. I'm the same way.
It's a Queens thing too,
Yeah.
I think, or a New York thing.
Of course.
It's just a little hint of Italian in everybody. Okay, yeah. So I thought that was like a weird thing to say, but he's not like wrong for saying, wow, this is terrible. And I was with the writer. I was with this person up until the polling of everybody in the office and then telling the guy.
The polling is wild.
It's almost a level of petty that I respect.
I'm going to tell, when you start walking around the office, this is a place of employment, sir. This is not your home.
It's also like you're literally taking time out of your work day.
Yeah.
To prove somebody wrong.
Get back to work, dude.
It's fucked.
There's a business here. You're going to walk around and ask people.
10 people.
And this is the crazy thing. You didn't even get a good enough amount of people to side with you. 6 out of 10 is not convincing enough.
That's a good point, actually.
If you
I didn't even
got
think of that.
8?
Yeah.
8, you definitely. 8, I'm making a toast. If we're going to be this person.
Right.
7, you mention it. 6, I might let it go.
I feel like you let it go regardless.
I mean, no. I'm saying if you're in this pettyverse.
Got it.
If you've worn this pettycoat.
Nice.
Thank you. If you are Tom Petty.
Oh my God.
If you are this person,
okay,
you better come. If you're going to come with it, you better come with it.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So 6 out of 10, sir, you got to sit down now.
It's still like the majority votes,
right.
At the end of the day, I get it, but you're right. It's not really high enough to warrant this. I mean, first of all, like I said, you got to be on some different level
Yeah.
of petty to actually go out of your way to do this. And then to
100%.
tell, like, I could see myself doing this for my own selfish satisfaction, but not telling the person.
Okay, so
just for
silent
my
poll.
silent poll. I would probably be like, what did you fucking think of this? 'Cause
Right,
I
right,
think
right,
it's
right.
horrible.
You know, the one thing I respect about my mom
Okay.
is like, we'll
The
leave.
one thing.
I mean, the one thing that like yes,
The most.
the
I get it,
most.
I get it.
I respect the most, but this is like this is the one thing that's like it's a bad behavior.
Okay.
That I respect.
Okay.
We'll go to Indian weddings or parties together, right? And then we'll eat the food,
Right.
And then she won't say anything,
Right.
and then as soon as we get in the car,
Oh.
it's the most brutal takedown of food
Yes.
I've ever seen in my life.
Yup.
This woman is like, and people say, oh, your mom is so sweet.
Yep.
She's such a sweet lady. Enough.
She's hiding.
She's hiding.
My mom does the same thing.
My mom is
Same
a
thing.
beast of a person. We sit in that car and she's like, that roti was disgusting. I'm like, people got married today, lady.
It's like the quiet confidence
Yeah.
too. Like she doesn't even have to yell it. She's just like, I'm not even going to be emphatic about this.
You
Just,
call this
that was
dog?
horrible. My mom is the same way, I
Yeah.
think, and now I'm that way too. So it's like I understand that everybody has their things, but would your mom ever go up to the person and be like, "This was terrible"?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
It's-
And that's the thing that I respect.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Talk shit behind their backs like everyone else, like a
Yes.
normal person.
My mom would literally be getting in the car going, nice to and as soon as the door closes, that curry was gross.
Exactly. Like, that's what I mean. I think that you don't need, like, we don't know what's going on in this guy's life. Not
Yes.
the writer, the other guy.
Right.
He clearly brags about this sauce. He clearly is proud of it. Maybe
He
let him have
needs
this win. Yeah,
this.
let him have his win.
He needs this.
He clearly needs this. If you're going on that hard about it, and I don't know, I just felt
opened
bad.
with he's a bragging windbag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm not saying that bragging windbags aren't annoying. They absolutely
Right.
are. And some of them may need to be taken down a peg or two, but this is not the way you go about that.
And this is the crazy thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I thought it was too many flavors going on at once and I couldn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
This is the nicest you could be.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, come on, bro. This is the nicest you could be.
That's the most specific form of feedback you could give somebody, especially
Yeah.
on food. You can just say it wasn't for me. I didn't like it. I don't know. Maybe
you
I'm
don't
just
even. It's just like
you went deep.
Yeah, man. I thought it was too many flavors. Who are you?
You're
are
not-
you Alex Guarnaschelli?
You're not Padma.
Yeah. Are you right? What is happening here, dude?
Right. Like that's what I mean. I was like, it's not the nicest you could be, actually.
No, not
it's
even
the most
remotely.
specific you could get.
Yeah.
And then so to the person who made it, them calling this person a dick, obviously that's
And then
not
also
cool.
said Top Chef. He called him Top.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Top
All right,
Chef.
Top Chef,
Which
yeah.
is a great comeback.
Amazing comeback.
And then this person came back with the poll
Exactly.
and then decided to go, hey, you're no Chef Boyardee. Which, by the way, is the worst chef. Chef Boyardee.
Yeah.
Chef Boyardee is a prison cook. Can we stop touting this as good food?
I feel- yeah.
It's food meant for children.
Yes.
And people incarcerated.
I
There
love-
is nothing about Chef Boyardee that is good.
It's nothing in between.
Yeah.
And I loved Chef Boyardee growing up.
As
I'm
a
not-
child,
As a child.
with a child's
Absolutely.
palate.
Absolutely.
And the only people that should be eating it are children
Yep.
and people that prey upon children. People in jail also.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would say that he probably used it because he called him Top Chef,
Yes,
so
no,
he
no,
wanted.
of course. Yeah,
For the
yeah, yeah.
comedy, I respect the joke.
I do. I absolutely.
But yeah.
But to say like you're no Chef
Chef
Boyardee is a double layer insult, right?
Right, right.
Because ideally you'd want to be like you're no
Emeril or
You're no
something.
Emeril Lagasse.
Right.
You're no Anthony Bourdain.
Or like Giada, somebody who's Italian. Then,
Right.
If you want to lean into that,
Exactly.
lean into that.
But you've also now you've said this person
Yeah.
you're not even the worst Italian chef. Which is so like, bro,
So
the gloves are off now.
Seriously, no,
Yeah.
he went hard, and I feel like he thinks he didn't. So
And I respect it.
I respect it, but I'm also like, So they both were at fault, I think, for handling it in
Yes.
that way. Like the guy didn't have to call him a dick, but I
Mm-hmm.
get it. Like you're hurt, but you could have said, that was a dick move. I
Right.
think that's maybe the way to say it instead of, I'm just very against like name calling in general.
Oh,
I think
100%.
it's always going to escalate. It's always going to make it worse. So if you want to say something like that, it's kind of like the difference between saying you're crazy and you're acting crazy.
You like,
what I mean?
you're big on the not name calling.
Yes.
Because you've said before.
I was big on name calling
You were
at
big
one
on name
point.
calling.
So that's why
and
I'm
I think that's
against
a thing that people do, like, we're very particular about. Like,
Yep.
I'm not certain things that when I see people do it, I go, oh, they shouldn't do that. It's because I know that I was doing that.
Exactly.
But you know what the thing is? I read this thing. I read this submission, which is a fantastic submission.
Yes,
Thank
wonderful job.
you. I'm kind of curious.
What it tastes like.
I kind of want to know.
I was like, should I make it?
Why didn't you? Why didn't
Why didn't you?
You should have been. We should have been eating this.
That's actually such a good idea. I'm so sorry that I let everyone down. I should have done that.
Supplementary promo for this episode.
Ooh.
Or post promo will be you making this.
That's
I want crushed tomatoes.
Okay.
By hand, all right? Don't
Obvious.
skimp on that.
I don't ever do it not
I know,
by hand.
but I'm just saying, like, I don't want you to, like, this, you will not go half-ass here.
Absolutely not.
All right, and you never really do.
No.
And you never do, actually.
Thank you.
Creamy Italian, maple syrup, balsamic vinegar, and I want a pinch. If I see anything more than a pinch,
Of ground
I will throw, I don't know at you. I will throw shuttlecocks at you, I guess. I don't know.
Shuttlecocks.
I don't know. I was a badminton guy as a kid.
Okay, yeah, I think I actually should do that.
Yes.
I'm really curious.
I want to be here when you cook it.
Okay.
And I want to.
Yeah,
I
let's
wanna,
do this.
I want to be the Guy Fieri to this situation where I taste this phenomenal sauce.
And then you tell me that that you are not the mayor of Flavortown
yeah,
anymore.
no,
because
absolutely
of the
not.
sauce.
You're not even the comptroller of Flavortown.
Oh my God. Okay, no, that's a fantastic idea. We're going to totally do that.
Okay, good.
I think I'm in on that.
100%.
Well, because like that's the other thing too. I'm wondering. I feel like, so I'm actually that exact kind of chef where I don't really measure anything. I feel like I have a pretty good idea of like how much of something can go into something.
People like you irritate me.
Why?
The eyeballing. I hate.
Oh, I love it.
Eyeballing chefs.
Oh God. Here we go.
Let me tell you what's wrong about the eyeballers.
Okay.
You eyeballers never measure anything. Right?
Unless you have to and you're making a recipe.
Sure.
Then you do.
But then the problem is this. You pass nothing on. You give nothing to the future generations.
Okay. Oh no. Well, first of all, you're right about that.
Yes.
I mean,
my mom is an eyeballer.
All the older chefs are. My
And
Safta
they irritate me.
Yep.
My
know.
mom comes to me, she's teaching me how to cook Indian food, and she goes, "You put in this much." And I go, "What is this much?"
It's a hand, Kunal.
And
It's a hand of
She
it.
goes, "This much." And I go, where? What are we doing here?
First of all, my Safta, may she rest, and my Yaya. I mean, all the old,
Well, I don't know what those mean.
Sorry. Safta was my Jewish grandmother, and Yaya is my Greek grandmother.
Okay.
Both of them. And I feel like all the grandmothers from the old country all cook the same way. My Safta was an amazing chef, and she would tell me, you take a cup. A cup was a mug to her. That is not a cup. That's what I'm saying. I know. I get it.
Does your mom cook?
My mom cooks too, and my Yaya was a great cook as well. But my mom does measure because I think my mom also grew up with the frustration of listening to my Yaya be like, yeah, you just take this much, and it's like a handful. And you're like, what do you... So my mom does kind of measure now. She's gotten better at it.
I'm learning to cook from my mom.
Yeah.
And I ordered... I said, I'm not going to bring my stuff over. I ordered and sent to her measuring spoons, measuring cups. And you know what I also sent? Because a lot of these women from the old country, you know which is also nonsense about them? Their knives are so damn dull.
Oh my God. I can't cut a tomato at my mom's to save my life.
It's like you cutting a tomato with a spoon.
You might as well use a fucking like pencil.
It's like, so I ordered knives that I'm like, you know what? I don't even care about these knives.
Yeah.
Whatever. They'll go dull and they'll be worthless.
Totally.
But it's like, I know I'm the only one using them. And yeah, my mom, she cuts things against her thumb.
Oh yeah. They
the
loved
old school.
the old school.
It's like, did you do a prison term? What is wrong with you?
It's like the scene in Goodfellas with the razor and the garlic.
Yeah.
Like my yaya and my savta all did that too. And I was doing that for a while when I was a teenager because I learned from them. But then I was like, I'm the most accident prone person.
Right.
I'm going to kill myself one day or
My
lose
mom
an
is
appendage
just
at the very least.
She uses a serrated knife.
They all use a fucking steak knife for
I
this.
don't understand what is with the serrated knives. Like, it's not sharper. It just looks sharper.
That's, I think, the mentality, though. They all
Yeah.
use the steak knives that you're supposed to just set the table with. that
My
you
mom
use for
probably
cutting
thinks a
food.
bread knife is like a sword.
My mom is afraid of a legit chef's knife. She
Oh.
called it the death knife when I had one. And I was like, you know, knives are supposed to be
That's
sharp.
amazing. That's amazing to call it a death knife. My mom looks at the thing as the same way. She
Yes.
doesn't go near it.
Doesn't go near it.
And I go, what is wrong? But it's like
Yeah.
your death knife.
Death knife. I was
Amazing.
like, you know they're supposed to be sharp. It's a wild phenomenon. But yeah, it's very real. I'm glad we touched on that.
It was necessary to rant on that section. I think it was a
Oh
whole
my
situation.
God.
Now, getting back to
Oh, yeah. But so getting back to this.
one thing that I think is kind of important.
Oh, go for it.
The thing is this. Saving people from themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right. I did want to talk about this too.
I think that this is a vastly important thing that needs to be addressed
Okay, but
in the
hang
world we
on.
live in.
But hang on. So you are saying that you think that guy really was the writer. You think the writer is doing this guy a favor?
He is,
Okay.
but he
Yeah.
should not. It's a favor that will not land.
Right. Well, that's
You
what
see
I'm saying. Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
when you give somebody money to like who's really bad at it, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go buy a car,"
Right.
and then they don't.
Right.
Like, I'm giving you the money, you're not going to do the thing.
That's
you're
what I'm
supposed to do.
saying.
Yeah. So
this
it's
guy's not self-aware enough to take this form of
No, of
criticism.
course not.
Even though
But-
it was delivered poorly.
Right. Even though it was delivered poorly. Right. But it comes down to sometimes you can't save people from themselves.
I agree, actually. And this is one of those situations because I think now to be the other argument, though, is like he may have been somebody that could have been saved from this if the guy, the writer, delivered it in a better, nicer way or like
Sure.
one-on-one where you're not, because again, he thought he was being super nice about it. I'm sorry, listener, writer, you were not.
Yeah.
But like if he had pulled him aside and said like, hey man, I think you just got a little too much going on in there. I still think the
But
person
you
would
can't even because you're
you're right. No,
coworkers.
you're right. I also
We're not
think, like-
even like homies. We don't
True.
hang out after work.
But then it's not his job to do that.
That's again,
Yeah,
right? Because then
you're right.
when you like break it down, you realize this is not your thing. Like I think about this with friends.
Yep.
And you see friends. Man, there's one thing that my girlfriend said to me, and it really kind of. I said to her, I was like, I just don't understand. We're like with friends. Why can't we just say what's wrong?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
the other person.
Right.
Why can't we tell them they suck at this? And then they go, and she goes, well, you can't.
You can't.
Because
yeah.
they're just not going to hear you.
Right.
And so sometimes as a friend, all you can do is listen and just hope that they don't do it again.
Right. And I think also there comes a point now, like you said, these people are coworkers. It doesn't really sound to me like they're friends, but like the whole like thesis of this is like he was going around to try and prove his point and prove this guy wrong so he could be right. And it's like, and this applies to other friendship things too. Like you were saying, at some point, it's like, do you want to be a friend or do you want to be right?
Yeah.
And I think that that's what this comes down to is like he should have just
Sometimes you just got to be like.
gotta let it go.
Or in this situation, you just got to be the coworker that kind of.
just takes it and talks shit about it at the water cooler with somebody else.
Yeah.
like a fucking normal
just,
person.
And I think that's a good step. It's a better step than this.
Yeah.
But an even better step, protect yourself.
Meaning
like you got to put up boundaries. This guy opens up with this dude's a pretentious windbag. So clearly you've interacted with this person enough where the pretentious windbag has given you gusts.
True.
You've gotten wind, so to speak.
You have a flavor of this guy already in your head.
Right. So it's like you don't need to try the sauce.
True.
And if you do, it's just going to confirm everything you hate anyway.
Exactly.
You would have hated that sauce even if it was good,
If it was
bro.
good, you would have found something.
You would have found something wrong with that sauce,
Yes.
which is why we need to make the sauce. with you, and I need to taste it.
I'm very excited for that.
But the
no,
thing
you're right.
is,
You're
but
right.
that's the point. It's like
Yes.
you would have found anything wrong because you don't like this guy, and that's
Right.
okay. You don't need to like everybody.
Totally.
But you should have. You should do this. Is you got to protect yourself.
Yeah, that's
you got
true.
to put up these walls,
Yeah.
these boundaries, and you got to be like, hey, man,
Right.
I'm not going to entertain this nonsense.
Exactly.
This guy is clearly a maniac. I work. And listen, that's what sucks about work.
Yeah.
Sometimes you work with sociopaths.
Of course.
And you got to deal with this lunacy. And that comes with the job.
Absolutely.
But then you got to let these vampires, these energy vampires,
Energy vampires, yeah.
you got to turn them away. Don't invite them into your house because a vampire will only come in if you allow them to.
It's true. It's true. No, I completely agree with what you're saying. I think that this guy was, I'm trying to think of a good analogy for this. It's like, looking through rose-colored glasses. He was tasting with whatever that would be in the taste equivalent.
Oh, the hate glasses?
Hate glasses,
Hate specs?
But like in your mouth. So what would that be?
Okay, no, I get it.
You just rinsed your mouth with like a medicine and then you're eating sauce.
The tempestuous tongue?
Tempestuous tongue. Exactly. He was eating with a tempestuous tongue.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And it would have colored his opinion of this guy colored his experience of the sauce no matter what. I think I agree completely on that.
Right. But don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
We're pretty sure it's going to suck.
Oh, yeah. It sounds fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I'm siding with the writer on that end.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But we
Yes.
Dara's going to make it. Who am I kidding?
Yeah.
Dara's going to make it. I will taste it. We'll taste it. And we will let you know.
You know that the person who, you know that the person who made this, though, if they were listening, would be like, oh, well, she obviously didn't put in the right measurements or the right amounts. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could just tell.
of
Somebody
course.
who gets that overzealous with ingredients.
You're going to, quote unquote, mess it up.
Oh, yeah. Clearly, they think that they know the secret formula and have the magic touch, but it's fine. But I think that that's exactly right. And I think then we covered all of the underneath.
So let's what do we do? I know, get the gavel ready.
I'm ready.
What do you I'll say this.
You go. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this. I think that in this situation, because the jumping in, getting involved, you swam in the deep end here. You didn't need to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in this situation, I got to give a suck to you, writer, and I got to give a suck to the person because, I mean, this person does sound terrible. We know this person. Some of us have been this person, i.e. me. Like, there's people out there. But I got to say, in a situation like this, you both suck.
I am going to co-sign that, and I'm just not even going to add to it. I think you both suck.
Nice.
Yay, we did it.
Fantastic.
Amazing. That was great. I was so excited about that. I mean, there were
Phenomenal
just so
submission,
many.
though.
Phenomenal submission. Amazing example of a you both suck, although I think it sounded like they thought the other person was definitely going to suck, so I'm sorry to dash your dreams.
I think that at the end of the submission, they were like, listen, I can take this.
That's true.
And I think that there's an awareness there,
Right.
and I do respect that, too.
Same. And I am sorry because they were like, Dara's going to totally agree. And I'm like, I agree with you that it sounds terrible.
Yeah.
But I can't agree on the other stuff. You got to let people live their lives and let that guy have a win. It sounds like he probably fucking needs them.
Oh, he needs it. He definitely needs it.
Anyway, all right. So that does it for us. You can submit your own dilemma, squabble, whatever you want to call it, at youbothsuckpodcast@gmail.com. You can DM us on the Instagrams.
Send your squabbles.
Send your squabbles. I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
send your squabbles. And or the Google form, which is anonymous, linked on Instagram. And I am at Dara Pollock on Instagram.
I'm at All Day KCA on all forms of social media.
Amazing. And that's it. We'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to spay and neuter your pets.
Thanks, Bob.